Margaret Ann Newman was born on October 10, 1933, in Memphis, Tennessee. She graduated from Central High School in Memphis and received her BA from Baylor University in Waco, Texas. After graduating from Baylor, she returned to Memphis, where she worked at Grace Chemical Company, all while becoming the primary caregiver of her mother, who was suffering from Lou Gehrig's disease. It was during this time that she felt a call to nursing, which is when she entered the nursing school at UT College of Nursing. Margaret spent the next 10 years of her life at New York University, beginning in doctoral studies, receiving her PhD in 1971, then returned as a faculty member. During Margaret's time at NYU, she initiated a postdoctoral summer workshop on nursing theory development and co-authored a source book of nursing research. Dr. Newman assumed the position of professor in charge of graduate studies in nursing at Penn State in 1977, at which time she also organized an international nursing theory think tank. She introduced her theory of health as expanding consciousness in 1978 and published the earliest primer on developing nursing theory development in nursing. In 1984, she assumed the position of nurse theorist and professor at the University of Minnesota, where she furthered the development and testing of her theory, working alongside other doctoral students. In the 1980s, she served as a civilian consultant to the U.S. Surgeon General for nursing research. In 1999, Dr. Newman retired from teaching, remaining active for another 17 years, advancing her nursing theory, education, research, and practice through her presentations and publications, including her 7th book, Transforming Presence: The Difference That Nursing Makes. In 2008, the American Academy of Nursing named Margaret Newman a living legend. It was December 18, 2018, that Margaret Newman passed away at Allen Morgan Nursing Home. She was 85 years old at this time. For Newman's nursing theory, Newman's biological father himself was involved in academic philosophy work and connected to these communities. In addition to engaging her imagination and critical thinking skills from a very young age, she developed a capacity for multidimensional, explorative, and innovative thinking about paradigms and metaphysical issues. The first seed of a unitary concept of health was sown during her experience as the main caregiver for her mother, who was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig disease. She was 20 at the time and eager to move forward in the world. Newman learned from her mother and gained philosophical insight into sickness, disease, and whole personhood. Each pathological condition a person has is actually just a manifestation of the individual. If getting ill is the only way for a person to express themselves in a pattern, then this is health for them, not illness. Illness may be an integrating factor for some people and be positive. For Newman's theory, health is the expansion of consciousness. Health is the totality of the life force which is within the individual person, as well as within all of the species of animal and mankind, is toward a realm of greater diversity and inclusiveness. Newman takes our definition of consciousness from philosopher Arthur Bentov. His definition of consciousness describes the informational capacity of the entire system in the universe and includes everything from inanimate objects like rocks through all levels like humans and plants to beyond. The expansion of consciousness is health. Health is the life force. Health is a pattern of the whole and the solution to our fragmentation and separation from consciousness. These are all part of her theoretical premise. For Newman's theoretical move, to view health as the ontological basis of life, the primary pattern of whole requires a conceptual shift in how we perceive disease. Disease is not a foreign invading body or separate existential entity surviving in our life force. Disease is part of our biosystem, and disease forms a part of our constant evolving life world of interaction between humans and environment. The implications of this theory include this shift in paradigm for nursing praxis. Our search to establish symptoms to establish disease should shift towards a study of how we perceive patterns. Disease should not be viewed as negative, invading, or parasitic on our life world, but rather as elements in our Platonic progression towards higher spiritual beings. An integrated view of disease contributes to our own progressions as individuals, growing through the lifespan into higher forms of consciousness. For her research method, it uses a hermeneutic dialectic method. The focus is on allowing the pattern of the person to emerge from the environment and keep his or her unity. The process results in having an intuition and apprehension of the person. The research person engages in a partnership with the participant or client. The relationship is maintained until the patient-client's pattern shifts upwards into a higher order. What does it mean as that health as an expanding consciousness? Every person in every situation, no matter how disordered and hopeless it may seem, is part of the universal process of expanding consciousness, a process of becoming more of oneself, of finding greater meaning in life, and of reaching new dimensions of connectedness with other people and the world. For the overview of the theory, this theory is revolved around everybody regardless of illness or no illness. It focuses on finding a greater meaning in life and its connectedness with other people in the world. Meta-paradigm is a conceptual framework that demonstrates the interconnected nature of nursing, person, environment, and health. The role of the nurse informatician will be represented at the intersection of nursing, person, health, and environment. Newman's theory correlation, no matter person, environment, state of wellness can inhibit the mind from develop awareness. Key concepts: science of unitary human beings, a new meaning of health, expanding the meaning of health, everybody as a whole. Disease does not define an individual. Some major concepts: health. In Newman's theory, health is an expansion of consciousness, defined as the informational capacity of the system and seen as the ability of the person to interact with the environment. According to Newman, health is the pattern of the world, and wholeness is one cannot lose it or gain it. Nurses witness disease that inhibit the growth of the brain. This theory is based for everybody. The universe has a way of expansion by the consciousness mind. Connectedness with the people, no matter what a person may be facing. Subtheories: consciousness. Informational capacity of the whole is revealed in the evolving pattern. Pattern is created by the person, environment, process, characterized by meaning. Putting it into perspective. An example: a nurse is able to recognize a patient going through a chaotic time. Key is the patient and nurse mutually recognizing a pattern. By them doing so enables higher levels of consciousness. Caring partnership theory is a patient-nurse relationship. Newman's theory can be conceptualized as a grand theory of nursing. Humans cannot be divided into parts. Health is central to the theory and is seen as a process of developing awareness of self and the environment. Consciousness is a manifestation of an evolving pattern of a person-environment interaction. Margaret Newman was a prominent nursing theorist who was also experienced as a nursing leader in various capacities. She defines health as expanding consciousness. It is a theory that is geared towards finding meaning in life. It has also improved the connection with people around the world. This theory's usefulness. The health expanding consciousness theory allows nurses in the patient's identified patterns assist patients move beyond their limitations and aims evaluate the process to expand consciousness. It also inspires the nurses to be full partners in treatment. The theory is also helpful in different environments. However, in nursing, this theory is applied to patients suffering uncertain or deadly chronic illnesses. Margaret Newman cared for her mother who suffered from ALS, which triggered her interest in nursing. However, she saw her mother as a whole person, just like everyone else. Newman's theory has been the base for a notable number of doctoral dissertations. The theory has also been used with sudden death in children, as well as with children cancer survivors. The theory is used in situations of chronically ill patients, such as those suffering from cancer. For the nurse study, The most evident feature is that the patient is guided towards living a better life after recovery. The caregiver, in this sense, guides one to unlock the desires that she has kept inside. The nurse and patient can be involved in the mutual process of pattern recognition. The important point is that both will advance to a higher level of consciousness. Parsimony demands very little new knowledge, an intelligent and a trained nurse. It is easily applied to practice, and the language was easy to understand. This theory is useful in designing or revealing a new scope in nursing. In this sense, it established that patients should be seen as a whole person, rather than people who are ill. The theory thus promotes nursing to extend into a metaphysical aspects. Furthermore, it inspires a human involvement in the nursing experience. The mid-range theory emerges from grand theories practiced in literature. It may be generalized to multiple settings and generate testable hypotheses. It targets specific phenomena or concepts, for instance, pain or stress. These theories are highly specific for nursing. Mid-range theories are simple to understand and apply. Self-transcendence theory. This theory was based on Rogers' theory of unitary beings. Individuals who face human vulnerability or mortality obtain an increased capacity for self-transcendence and its positive influence on well-being. Self-transcendence is about the belief that individuals can overcome difficult life circumstances through overcoming their limitations. In this way, individuals have to hope for the best and work towards it. Thank you. Margaret Ann Newman, Grand Nursing Theory on Unitary Process.